Hi guys, this is IGCSE O-Level Chemistry, paper 22, Extended MCQs, Specimen 2023, question 11. Which row shows the waste products released from the exhaust of a vehicle powered using a hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell? So we are talking about the waste product produced. Now, hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell is environmentally friendly because the only waste product that it produces is water and or water vapor, because the fuel that is being used in the hydrogen oxygen fuel cell is hydrogen and oxygen, and hydrogen and oxygen would react to form water, and this produces the energy that is required to run the car. So energy is released and water is produced. So water is the only waste product formed. So the options are carbon dioxide, oxide of nitrogen, and water. The only correct option will be the one having water as the exhaust product produced, which is option D. Question 12. Which diagram is the correctly labeled reaction pathway diagram for an endothermic reaction? Okay, so in endothermic reaction, the products have a higher energy than the reactants, which is true for options A and B. And in option C and D, the products are at a lower energy level, because of which options C and D have been eliminated. Now, between options A and B, the activation energy is the energy difference from the reactants till the maximum energy point or the transition state, which is there in option A, but incorrectly labeled in option B as the overall energy change. And the overall energy change is the difference between the reactants and the products, correctly labeled in A and incorrectly labeled as activation energy in option B. This makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 13. Which changes are physical changes? Melting ice to form water. Yes, this is a physical change of state from solid to liquid. Burning hydrogen to form water. Burning hydrogen to form water is a chemical change, not a physical change. Adding sodium to water. When sodium is added to water, it reacts with it, producing sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. This is a chemical change, not a physical change. And boiling water to form steam is physical because we have a change of state from liquid to gas. So since changes 1 and 4 are correct, this makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 14. The diagram shows an experiment to measure the rate of a chemical reaction. So we have a burette from which we are adding dilute hydrochloric acid. We have a metal present in the conical flask, and we have gas being collected over water in a measuring cylinder. The Which change decreases the rate of reaction? Adding water to the flask. If we add water to the flask, now here it is meant as the conical flask that contains the metal. So when the acid would be added to it, the acid would get diluted. So in effect, by adding water to the flask, we are diluting the acid. And if the dilute acid is used, the rate of reaction would be slower. So this is correct. Heating the flask during the reaction. If we heat the flask, the temperature increases, and as temperature increases, the rate of reaction would increase. Using more concentrated acid. The greater the concentration of the acid, the greater the rate of reaction, because the greater the number of moles of acid that would react with the metal. And using powdered metal. Using powdered metal would increase the exposed surface area, which would increase the rate of reaction. So options B, C, and D correspond to how the rate of reaction can be increased. Only option A shows that by adding water to the flask, the rate of reaction would decrease, making option A the correct option for this question. Question 15. Which row describes the effect of increasing concentration and increasing temperature on the collisions between reactant particles? So if we increase the concentrations, the number of moles of reactants would increase, hence the collisions between reactant particles would also increase. So the answer would be, we have two possibilities. One is more collisions per second only, and the other is more collision per second and more collisions with sufficient energy to react. No, increasing the concentration will not have an increase in the activation energy possessed by the molecules. It will only increase the number of collisions per second. That means it will increase the rate of collision or the frequency of collision. So this eliminates options C and D. So either of options A or B can be correct. Now next, increasing the temperature. Increasing the temperature would result in more collisions per second. Yes, but it would also increase the number of molecules having enough energy that is equivalent to or greater than the activation energy in order for it to react. So more collisions per second only? No. More collisions per second and more collisions with sufficient energy to react? Yes. Therefore, option B is the correct option for this question. Question 16. Methanol is prepared by the reversible reaction shown. Carbon monoxide plus hydrogen gas gives methanol gas. The forward reaction is exothermic. Okay. Which condition produces the highest equilibrium yield of methanol? Temperature. If the temperature is increased and the reaction is exothermic, this would favor the backward reaction. So high temperature favors backward reaction. It cannot be high temperature. So options A and B eliminated. Now pressure. An increase in pressure favors the side with the lesser number of moles. There are 3 moles of reactants and 1 mole of product. So increasing the pressure would result in the forward reaction being favored. So option D is eliminated because low pressure would favor the backward reaction, high pressure favors the forward reaction, making option C the correct option for this question. Question 17. When chlorine gas dissolves in water, a reaction occurs. Which row of the table identifies the oxidation number of chlorine in the chlorine containing species? Since Cl2 is an element, the oxidation state of chlorine would be 0. This eliminates options A and C. In HCl, H would have a positive charge on it and chlorine would have a -1 charge on it. So both B and D have -1 stated. Now in HClO, we've got H positive ion, we've got Cl with an unknown charge, and we've got an oxide ion with a 2 negative charge. So the algebraic equation will be +1 plus x minus 2 equals 0. Let's solve for x. So this would become +1 and -2 would become -1. So this would become plus x minus 1 equals 0 and plus x would be equal to +1 when it changes sides. So the value for x would be +1, eliminating option B, making option D the correct option for this question. Question 18. 4 different solutions J, K, L, and M are tested with universal indicator. So solution J is green, that means it is neutral. Solution K is red, that means it is acidic. Solution L is purple, that means it is basic. And solution M is orange, that means it is acidic. So what we need to remember is that universal indicator with a pH of 7 or neutral will have a green color. At pH less than 7, it would be the acidic range. The color would be red. So between red and green, which includes orange and yellow, it would be acidic. And from green till purple, which includes blue, indigo, and all, the pH would be greater than 7, and the solution would be basic. So the question asks which solutions are acidic. So the acidic solutions are the ones with a color ranging from red to green, which is red and orange, K and M. This makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 19. Which solution has the lowest pH? Now, the concentrations of all the solutions are 0.1. Now, we need to figure out which solution is the strongest acid because the greater the concentration of the acid, the lower would be its pH. So, ammonia is base and it is a weak base. Ethanoic acid is a weak acid. Hydrochloric acid is a strong acid and lithium hydroxide is a strong base. So out of all of these, the one with the lowest pH would be the strong acid and the one with the highest pH would be the strong base. The question has asked us which solution has the lowest pH. This makes option C the correct option for this question. Question 20. Magnesium, calcium, strontium, and barium are group 2 elements. Group 2 elements follow the same trends in reactivity as group 1 elements. Which statements about group 2 elements are correct? Calcium reacts faster than magnesium with water. Yes, calcium is below magnesium, so its reactivity would be greater because the reactivity of group 1 metals increases down the group, so the reactivity of group 2 metals will also increase on the group. So statement 1 is correct. Statement 2, barium reacts less vigorously than magnesium with dilute acid. No, barium is found below magnesium, so barium would react more vigorously with dilute acid. This statement is incorrect. 3, strontium oxidizes in air more slowly than barium. Yes, strontium is above barium in group 2. Barium would oxidize in air more quickly than strontium. Thus, strontium oxidizes in air more slowly than barium. This statement is correct, making option C the correct option for this question.